Good morning, everybody. We'll get started in just a few minutes here. We'll give it about maybe one more minute just to allow others to join, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I think we'll get started now. Thank you everybody for joining us this morning. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I'm sure everyone's busy, so we'll definitely won't take up the full hour. I hope to get it done much quicker than that, and everyone can get on with their day. My name is Joel Quigley with Miovision. We're also joined by Matthew from Mobiletrax and also Podrick from Miovision as well. If there are any questions, feel free to put them into the question chat box, and we will address it as they come through. So again, as I mentioned, my name is Joel Quigley from Miovision, and we're going to be kind of chatting about our smart link solution and focusing on video detection and kind of the features and capabilities of that technology. The other thing I wanted to mention, and we'll kind of talk about this at the end of the presentation, that Mobiletrax and Miovision have signed an agreement and a partnership where they will be distributing our technology in the state of Texas. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to type it in, and we'll get through this. And yeah, feel free to ask any questions. So we're going to start by kind of how Miovision is thinking about intersections, and just kind of how technology over the last 5 years has come such a long way. And I'm sure I'm not telling anything new to anybody on this call, but the days of closed protocols, single point hardware that can only speak with proprietary protocols, that world is kind of gone. And it's all about open architecture now, and that's kind of first and foremost how Miovision is thinking about our technology. And I spent some time in the building automation world, and it's kind of the exact same thing that's happening in the traffic industry. I saw in the building automation world, where single vendors that only have proprietary protocol talking to their specific hardware is just not acceptable anymore. So open architecture is how we're thinking about it as a technology company. This is our principle. So we have open architecture, meaning that we are built for compatibility. We are not locked into any single vendor, and we are easily integrated with any third party, whether it's hardware or software. We are more than open and willing to play nice and cooperate with any other technology or solution out there. And it's also an ecosystem as well. So again, it's not so much about one single software or hardware. Multiple hardware or software need to be able to pass data back and forth. And you may be having 3 or 5 different data sources that all need to come into one central system, where again, we are more than happy to participate in that and actually make tools that make it easy to transfer that data back and forth. And finally, we kind of think of ourselves as the smartphone of the intersection. And kind of what I mean by that is again, that the single use hardware is kind of done. So before, you bought a hardware device that did one simple solution, whether that relates to the traffic intersection or your iPhone. It's the same concept where you had a calculator and a flashlight and a phone, and you had each one device that did that one specific task. What we're saying now is that, once you have the hardware and once you have the intelligence, kind of what you want that to do, you can kind of pick and choose those apps as you see fit. And that's how we look at our solution at the intersection. And it all comes back to data. So for those of you who don't know Miovision, we've been around for 15 years now, and we are the world leader in traffic data. So we have all of this crazy amount of data around what a car looks like in 66 different countries around the world, what a cyclist, what a pedestrian looks like. We have all that data and we had all that information. And that's really how we designed our product, based off of that. So rather than making assumptions or kind of doing, axle differences and trying to assume what data or what car or what's going on at the intersection, we decided to take a different approach where we actually are going to create a computer to see, an artificial intelligence to see the intersection the same way the human eye sees it. That way it's able to track and identify specific vehicles, pedestrians, or cyclists at that intersection and what they're doing through that intersection. And ultimately, it gets better than what the human eye can see. And if you're looking at the picture on the screen here, it's really difficult for any one of us to determine how many pedestrians are going through those crosswalks, not to mention what else is going on at that intersection. So what we've done is we've taught the computer to see based on all the data we have internally. And that's what allows us to accurately identify what classification of car or vehicle it is, what they've done in that specific intersection, and also what a pedestrian or a cyclist is doing. So it's not any type of assumption in terms of wheel length or anything like that. We know exactly what a car looks like. We know what a motorcycle looks like. We know what a bus looks like. And that's how we approach video detection and all the other features that we're able to do at that intersection. And we don't stop just at one intersection or one iteration of our solution. So one of the benefits that we have with our technology is that it's continuously learning. And what I mean by that is that once it gets installed at an intersection, that intersection is now contributing to every other intersection, and it's learning from itself. So not only did we teach the intersection or teach our algorithm how to see the intersection like a human eye, we also taught it to learn from itself. So what I mean by that is, an intersection in Florida is able to actually improve an intersection in Texas because it's learning from itself. We're grabbing all that data, we're grabbing all that analytics, we're performing the updates, we're testing it, and then we're sending it out across to all of our intersections to improve and get better. And that process never stops. This is a continuous process. It's happening real time all the time. So it's actually only going to get better in time from the moment it's installed. And that's what allows us to see vehicles in difficult situations or environments, whether it's snow or rain at night with glare, or water or ice forming on the lens, we are able to see those instances still and be able to determine what's going on at the intersection and still perform properly because of the underlying foundation of our technology and artificial intelligence. So when I spoke about the iPhone and kind of how we see ourselves as the iPhone of the intersection, once you have the hardware at the intersection, kind of what you want that hardware to do is really up to you. And we've broken it down into 5 separate kind of software applications. And you're able to pick and choose which you want, what software applications you want at that intersection specific to the needs of yourself, your city, your agency, or that specific intersection. This is what the hardware looks like. So on the left is the smart link. That's what provides all the communication and connectivity to the different devices in the cabinet and the intersection. The smart sense in the middle, kind of think of that as like the processing power of 2 new PlayStations. We're able to real time locally process all of the video that's coming from the single point camera you see on the right. It's constantly viewing that high-res video, passing it to the smart sense. The smart sense is processing all that video real time, and that's what allows us to do the video detection in terms of actuating the controller for those specific detection zones, and then also do all of the TMC and classification and turning movement counts at those intersections as well. So that together is the full package, or the full stack, we like to call it. And that's the hardware that allows you to do anything really at that intersection once you have that installed. And the first kind of application is what we call signal maintenance. So think of it as kind of a central management system, or just a management system in general, where once you get our hardware installed or it's at the intersection, we have we call it the traffic link portal. It's an online browser login that allows you to visually see the intersection remotely from any browser. So it's like a management system, and we're able to, since we're at the intersection, we're able to communicate with that intersection. We're able to real time show you what's going on at that intersection, whether it's real time phasing or detection hits. But we're also able to do, if it goes into flash, we can alert you. Power loss, we can alert you. We can connect to UPS batteries, let you know if the battery is low or even on. We can connect to the conflict monitors, able to show you the logs and the status of what's going on at those monitors. And then also any type of preemption or detection. We're able to let you know, hey, this preemption's stuck on, this detector's in recall. We're able to alert and give you all of that information. We also have GPS time sync built in as well, if that is something that is required. And then we also have travel time built into our system. So we're able to do point-to-point travel time and also corridor congestion scans through this signal maintenance platform. So again, it's a browser-based login system that is specifically created for your organization and your intersections, so that when you log on, you're able to see what's going on at a network level or at intersection level. We're also able to get intersections online for third-party CMS systems or ATS systems. So if you have already a third-party system running at the intersection and you have fiber to about 90% of your intersections, we could get that last 10% online for you, or even if it's 1 or 2 intersections, we can get that online for you as well. So this is what it looks like, where we're taking the data from the intersection and we're sending it to our traffic link portal, but we're also able to get that third-party software also online as well. So it's as if you had fiber to that intersection. We can get that intersection onto your CMS system, third-party system, as if you were fully connected via fiber. We also have a built-in API and managed security, where we're actually able to whether it's academia or a third party, another third party system, we're able to share all of that data, with your permission, to whichever party you wish that data to be sent to. We also have traffic insights or ATSPMs built in to our system as well. So since we're at the since we're at the intersection, since we're grabbing all of that data, we're able to present that data in a very intuitive way. So it's a standard, it's an ATMS system that has all of the standard metrics in terms of travel time, corridor congestion, approach volumes, anything you would see in a regular ATMS system. We do have that ability, and it's built into our solution. So you have the ability to analyze your intersection or corridor or entire network through this system and gain insights. One thing that we have that maybe not everyone else has is a few other things built into this, and what we've just launched actually yesterday, it's called Intersection Health. And what that means is, we understand that if you had, if you have 100 intersections, let's say, the amount of data being created every day is quite overwhelming. And what we were hearing from our customers in the market is, we just don't have time to kind of go through every single intersection and review the data. So what we're doing with Intersection Health is we're actually taking all this data and we're going to run it through our AI and be able to automatically identify problems for you. And we were able to alert you through the system saying, hey, we see this issue at this intersection. This is what's going on. This is what we're seeing. And, you should take a look at that. Or if you want to take a look at it, here's some suggestions on how to address that. So that is something we just launched yesterday. There's actually going to be another webinar later this month. I would highly suggest if you are interested in kind of that technology to register and join and learn a little bit more about it through our product manager and in-house traffic engineer, who's very intelligent on this. But again, just to reiterate, it's Intersection Health, and it's kind of an automatic problem ID for ATSPMs that really take the heavy lifting and time-consuming insight, or I guess review of the data. It really takes all of that heavy lifting and time away, and just says, hey, here's the problem. We went through all the data for you. This is what you need to focus on. Also, video detection. So I think this is kind of the main aspect of this presentation. So, through our video detection system, you have all that other stuff that I spoke about in terms of connectivity to the intersection, maintenance and alerts, real-time monitoring, and be able to connect remotely. You also have the ATSPMs, and now we get to video detection. So our video detection, it's through that single point camera, and we do stop bar detection for that. So we're going through all the standard APL and QPLs throughout the country. We are exceeding all the accuracy standards in terms of accuracy and reliability. So we are very confident in this solution, since it's based off of that foundation of artificial intelligence of how to see the intersection. We don't run into any glare problems or any issues that may be a traditional, whether it's background subtraction or any type of axle assumptions. We don't run into that. We are very accurate. We're very reliable in all types of weather conditions, and we're able to provide that functionality at each intersection. The one other benefit we have as well is we're able to run each individual intersection through through an accuracy metric. So we can actually submit it, it goes through, and it's able to spit out a report essentially of how well that intersection is performing in terms of detection and reliability. So we do that for our customers just to make sure that it's operating as it should. We also allow for remote and local configuration. So, traditionally, you have to go up to the intersection, plug in to do any type of configuration or changes to the video detection. We have that option, but we also provided the option, again, through our web-based traffic link portal to remotely configure the intersection. So I think that might be really relevant in today's current situation, where a lot of us were working from home. A lot of us were encouraged to kind of stay home or not go out unnecessarily. This is where this would be a huge benefit for that. So from your home, as long as you have internet access, you'd be able to log on to your intersection and make any necessary changes to those detection, whether it's channels, whether it's the zones, whatever it is, you're able to do that remotely. And it's just really intuitive, really simple, and we've made it easy for you to be able to do that. So that is one of the functionalities that you may not see in other solutions, but we think it is really important and really valuable once you kind of see how it works and once you are able to experience that. Some of these intersections can be hours away. This prevents you from driving out there. You can see what's going on. You can be prepared for any type of situation. And if it is a larger issue at that intersection, at least you're prepared and you have the proper equipment or tools or anything like that in your truck before you head out to that intersection. Continuous counts is what we call it, but it's basically turning movement counts. So through our system, again, through our video detection system, we're able to provide continuous counts. And what that means is 24/7, 365, we are going to be installed, since we're installed at that intersection, we can give you this type of information. So in addition to doing detection, in addition to getting remote connectivity, in addition to ATS-PMs, you're going to get 24/7, 365 counts for that specific intersection. So that's classification, that's bikes, that's pedestrians. We're able to tell you exactly what volumes are going through those intersections for each day. And then you're able to get that type of insight and valuable data to help you make decisions or prevent costly studies in the future. And so you might be saying, hey, why do I want all this data, or why do I need all this information? And it's not so much that you need it for every single day, but what it is valuable for is, rather than basing all of your decisions off of a 3-day study, you really want to take that full summer season if you're going to be making a change to the summer. So what's the averages throughout an entire summer? What's the averages for school time coming in or school time coming out? You're able to get a wide variety of data sets that can help you make more intuitive or intelligent decisions, because it's not based off of a short time period. It's more so the entire period that you'd be looking at. You also never know when something might happen or an event might happen. And the example you're looking at here is the Toronto Raptors a year ago won the NBA championship, and then they had their parade. And the city of Toronto came back to us and said, hey, we weren't really prepared for a study, but we know you're installed in a lot of our downtown intersections. Are you able to provide some insights in terms of the volumes and the number of pedestrians, or just kind of the impact on that parade through our downtown core? And we were able to provide that to them since we were installed. So again, it's just, you never know what's going to happen, and you never know when you might need this data. Additionally, with COVID shutdowns, a lot of our customers were asking for how did that affect our volumes in terms of pedestrians or trucks or cars going through our intersections and going through our network. And we were able to provide that to them, through the data and be able to provide some insight. So then you can go through and provide that information to a variety of different stakeholders within your city. I think another benefit of this might be, if you have a business organization or a co-op of some sort, like maybe a downtown business association, and you're able to provide them, hey, during the summer months, this is how much foot traffic we have going through that intersection in this corridor, and that would be very valuable to them. What is the, what is the traffic that they can expect on a typical Saturday in the summer, or what's the kind of the impact of the slow season in terms of specific numbers? It's just such a rich data set that lots of people in your community or city would be very interested in. So the possibilities are really endless once you have that 24/7 data and able to be able to access that remotely whenever you want, and be able to kind of manipulate the data and investigate it in terms of getting whatever data you need, but being able to pass that around as well. So I think it's it's not so much thinking of it through daily traffic operations. It's more so who else can use this, and find value in this. And that's really where we kind of see this really providing value to a city or a community. We're also focused on safety analytics as well. So what we mean by that is, since we're able to see exactly what's going on at an intersection, since we're connected to the controller and getting all of that high-res data, we're able to provide insights into how an intersection is behaving when it relates to safety. And traditionally, what happens at an intersection is kind of the pyramid you see here, where the majority of interactions with that intersection is fine, undisturbed passages and just normal daily operations. Then you have the tip of the pyramid, where you have the actual reported cases. So whether unfortunately be a fatal crash, an injury, crash, or a property damage, that's really all you're going to see, because traditionally we rely on police reports or historical data. And that's fine, but really you're only seeing the tip of the pyramid, or you're reacting you're reacting to what's happened in the past. You're not really getting ahead of anything or proactively preventing that, because ultimately what we want is no property damage crashes, no injury crashes, no fatal crashes. So how do you kind of prevent that from happening? Well, what we're thinking about is we're actually going to go down that pyramid to where potential or slight conflicts have occurred, where before you would have no idea that those happened, or you wouldn't have any insight into that. We're able to provide that insight because we've seen it happen. So whether it's a near miss, or something really slight issue that happened that wasn't actually reported to the police, you would be able to see that happening and get insights on how often that's happening and what intersection that's happening at. With that information, you could do countermeasures, or you could do more investigating of that intersection and actually get ahead of it and implement some measures that would prevent that fatal crash from happening. And that's ultimately the goal of Vision Zero or pedestrian or any type of safety, is actually preventing fatal crashes and serious crashes from happening. So that's kind of what we're doing. I'm just going to pause here. I guess we have some questions. I apologize. I didn't see here. Yeah, maybe here. I'll how about I just keep going here, and I'll address these questions just at the end, and just make sure everyone's aware of them. So, sorry, going back to the safety aspect of this. This is kind of how we're thinking. So how do we let you know what's going on before the real issues occur? And what we've started with is red light running is one of the first metrics we've done. So since we're able to understand the phasing, since we're able to go through the intersection and see what's happening at the intersection and know what the phasing is, we can line those two things up of saying, hey, this car was running a red light, since we have that information. And then we're able to provide a chart on that, and how often are people running red lights? How often are people kind of skirting the rules and trying to get through that yellow? And how many people are just blatantly running red lights, which is completely unacceptable, but it does happen. And we're able to show you on an intersection level how often it's happening, what type of day, what time of day it's happening, and just how much of an issue it is. We're also able to do pedestrian compliance. So essentially, are people walking across the intersection without the walk signal? And what that means is it basically jaywalking. So how often is it happening? What intersection is it happening at? And is it a problem that's reoccurring or a consistent pattern that needs to be addressed? And then, if you have people not complying with the don't walk signal, and you have people running red lights, that's kind of a recipe for disaster. So those two in tandem, you'd be able to really get an understanding of potential issues at an intersection. These are just the first two we have. We are working very quickly on getting more out, but this is a starting point, and we hope to have a robust safety analytics metric set in the near future. But again, this is a good start. It really gives a sense of are citizens not following the rules, whether they're in the vehicle or whether they're a pedestrian at the intersection. And for those of you who don't know much about Miovision, we have been around for 15 years now. We have over 200 employees, and we actually just had a significant venture capitalist raise. So, we are growing very quickly. We are trying to just push the boundaries in terms of what this technology can do. And just continuously improving. So in terms of software, that's really what we're focused on right now is our metrics and getting the most valuable metrics out to our customers. So whether it's safety or whether it's intersection health and automatic ATSPM problem IDs, that's what we're hyper focused on. We're trying to get it there and we're trying to get it out to the market because that's really where we see the value. Detection is very important. No one denies that, and we don't deny that either. And our detection is, very good. It's the top of the industry in terms of a single point solution, a single point camera solution. And it's something we take very seriously as well. But how can you build off of the hardware and the technology of detection already at that intersection? And that's why we're thinking about how can our software not only provide quality detection, but also provide insights and give people time back in their day. That's really what we're trying to do, is give you time back in your day to address the very important and burning issues in your city. Give you that time to do it, and then provide the information that just really makes that process easy. I'm going to pass it over to Matt now to speak about Mobiletrax and kind of how we are partnered and working together now in the state of Texas, and then we'll address some questions that have come up as well.
Sure. Thanks, you, Joel. So thanks for attending, guys. Good morning, I should say. Thanks for taking out the time of day to be on the webinar. So little back history to Mobiletrax, and I'm sure some of you guys know, but just a little history. So Mobiletrax was founded in 1969. At the time, it was called Brown Traffic. In November 2013, the name changed from Brown Traffic to Mobiletrax. So which probably a lot of you guys know on this webinar is Mobiletrax is a manufacturer and distributor of traffic components. We engineer and manufacture the Eagle brand. I'm sure you guys see that if you have our cabinets, like the NEMA cabinets, the Caltrans cabinets, and including the ATC cabinets. Also, Mobiletrax makes signal heads and pedestrian heads for traffic signals. So that's in a nutshell most of what Mobiletrax does. And our main headquarters is in Davenport, Iowa, and our manufacturing plant is here in Austin, Texas. So we distribute a lot of our product around the country, including Canada. So we have a lot of our product within the US and Canada. So a little about myself. I'm the ITS technician for Mobiletrax here in Texas. At times, I get triple calls around the US, either being New Mexico or Maine or even Georgia. But most of my responsibility is here in Texas. So that would be including installs, troubleshooting, product demos in Texas. The other individual is Cameron, which you guys a lot of you guys know. He does most of the stuff I do as well, as far as troubleshooting, product demos, installs as well. And Vince Holdridge is our inside sale guy, and he's responsible for quotes, bids, and order entries and status on delivery. So that is pretty much the team here in Texas and for Mobiletrax. So which brings me to Miovision. So in Texas, we didn't have Mobiletrax didn't have a video detection system. We had a radar solution, but we didn't have a video detection. So Cameron was looking around for a system that not only meet the customer needs as far as detection, but like counts lane by lane, less maintenance, connectivity, newer technology, and something that was user friendly and costs. A lot of times that comes into play. So for Mobiletrax, Miovision was no brainer for us. And pairing with Miovision was everything that Mobiletrax was looking for. So, but yeah, I mean, that's essentially what we liked about Miovision, and I think the partnership's going to be good, and be uh, a long lasting friendship, I guess you would say.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that. We do have some questions here, so I'll address them right now. And if you do have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat box, and I'll answer them. Also, additionally, there's our contact info. Feel free to reach out to myself or Matt with any questions, or if you'd like even more information or to discuss further, we're happy to chat. So there's our contact info. I'll leave it up for a bit so you can jot that down, and I'll address these questions right now. So the first question we have is the Smart Link and the Smart Sense two separate devices? The Smart Link is for cabinet monitoring, and the Smart Sense is for video detection. The answer is yes for today, but think about it as one device. So since we started, the Smart Link is kind of a legacy product for us. We were just providing communications to kind of supplement for people whose fiber networks weren't at 100%. We were helping people just kind of get those last handful of intersections on their CMS system. So that's kind of how the product originated. But moving forward, it's going to be one device. And we are in the process of finalizing that and launching that out to the market, where those two devices are going to become one. So think of it as one as one device, sorry, that does all of the functionality that we discussed today. But at the same time, you can pick and choose which solution or what functionalities you want, and then you were able to customize that solution for you. So again, if you have any questions around that, or you want some clarifications, happy to discuss offline or in greater detail, and kind of discuss how that all works, and kind of why it is that way today, and why we're moving to a one hardware device solution in the future. The next question is, can the user make custom ATSPM metrics? So through our system, you are not able to just create your own customized metric. But if there is something that is very valuable to you, or you think that would be helpful, please let us know. And as long as the data is there, we can generally, I would say 99.9% of the time, get you that info that you're looking for. We love getting feedback from our customers saying like, hey, this is great, but I would love this metric to happen or to be available. We have made customized metrics before for customers. We're able to get data that you may not see on that landing page when you log on. We're really happy to provide the data that our customers need. That's something that the company has been built off of, and something we continue to hold very valuable in terms of our principles and customer satisfaction to our customers. So you can't just jump on our platform and make a custom metric, but if you don't see something and you want it, let us know, and we are happy to discuss and get you that data one way or the other. The final question is on here is Miovision selling their products as a SaaS, so that's software as a service, once the hardware is purchased? It seems like the industry is headed that way. Basically, the customer pays an annual fee, and with that comes support, training, and software updates. So the answer is yes and no. So we have lots of options on the table in terms of how you want to purchase and pay for this equipment. We have a SaaS model, so a software as a service model. We do have that, and which would be an annual fee, and you get a variety of benefits based off of that, and data based off of that. We also have one-time purchase options as well. We understand that the way budgets are, or whether it's funding or however a project is being paid for, we understand that. So we've come up with options on both sides, whether it's a one-time purchase or an annual fee type of purchase. So again, happy to discuss that in greater detail in terms of what works for you and what works for your city and department, and we will address that as needed, because we understand every intersection is different, every city is different, every department is different, and we want to make it as easy as possible for you to purchase and use our equipment. So we've come up with lots of different options. There's lots of different solutions that we can come up with, and generally we will customize it specifically for your needs and your purchasing process. So I believe that is no more questions here that I see. I'll give Jay maybe 2 more seconds to let me know if I'm wrong about that or not. But as promised, I came in under the hour as promised. So I love giving people time back in their day. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. As I said, our contact info is here. Please reach out if you have any other questions or want more information. And other than that, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us today. And hopefully we can chat soon about addressing some of the challenges and issues you may be experiencing in your city. Thank you very much.